This is Harold in Japan. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to nail an interview that will give you a free scholarship to study here in Japan. One of the most popular Japanese scholarships that had enabled a lot of international students to study for free in Japan is the Mext scholarship. In this video right up here, I've actually discussed in detail what a Mext scholarship is, so if you're wondering what it is, you have to watch it. Today's video, we are going to talk about the exams plus the interview that are very much part of the screening process. About the examination, I'm not going to touch on the specialized training and all this because I've never been through that. I'm going to link exam samples in the link below, so do check them out. But I'm going to talk about the exams for the research students. It's an English test, all about grammar, plus some reading comprehension. So if you are not good at that, then you need to study that before the examination. And also there is a Japanese proficiency exam that will be given, but don't worry if you do not know Japanese. You can still go through this process without even answering the Japanese test. Interviews are always going to be very stressful. So if you're feeling scared, it's normal, don't worry. Before the interview, you need to go back to the questions that you've answered in your application form, plus your research proposal. Now, all the questions that they are going to ask you in the interview are all centered on the answers that you've provided in those two documents. So very, very important. You need to do your homework by rereading what you've written in those documents. You need to dress formally, not overly formal, like you don't need to wear a suit to the interview. You have to dress for the occasion. What you wear speaks volume of who you are as a person, so remember that. It's very, very important. If there is a national dress or a formal national dress that you have in your country, you can also wear that to the interview. During the interview, Japanese people are very formal. There's a lot of bowing, so if you can do that, it's acceptable. Like when you enter the room, show some respect by bowing to acknowledge people who are present in the room, like the interview panel. You can still get away without bowing, but my point is you need to be respectful when entering the room, and also to only sit down when you are asked to do so. People in the panel will be those at the embassy or the consulate, or they can also bring in someone who specializes in your area of study. A lot of times it will include 3 people. When answering your questions, your confidence is also portrayed in your body language. You can do this by sitting up straight, look people in the eye when answering questions, and be confident and firm. Don't be monotonous, don't be so uninteresting. Be enthusiastic about the way you answer the questions. That shows how confident you are. Here are some typical questions that you are most likely going to get. What do you want to study? This question is trying to see if you are focused on what you really want to study in Japan. It's good to go back to what you've written in your application form and try to elaborate on that, telling them that you are prepared to study in Japan. Why do you want to study the topic? This question is trying to assess the outcomes of your study. Now, remember, this scholarship is about your country and Japan, the relationship that exists between the two countries. So, whatever the outcome that they are getting from your studies should be mentioned by you, especially related to your field of study. For me, I'm in the field of public health. I've mentioned something about like when I return to the Solomon Islands with a set of skills that I'm going to acquire during my training in Japan, I will be a resourceful person within the Ministry of Health in terms of planning, in terms of trying to find out new ways to address health issues within the country. What sort of university you want to study in Japan? Remember, it's good to do your research before the interview so that you know which school you're going. So try to mention the things that you've discovered about that university. How are you going to handle living in Japan? This is not a question to actually downgrade you, but it is a question to see how prepared you are to go to Japan. If you are from an English-speaking country, or if you do not know Japanese, then Japan is going to be new to you. You have to learn the language, or you need to learn new things. Now this question is trying to assess whether you are prepared. What are you going to do? How are you going to prepare yourself for the new environment? You can mention things like, I will do all I can to learn as much as I can about the culture, food, maybe the language and all this. So what do you know about Japan? They are just trying to assess how prepared or how eager you are in moving to Japan to study. Now, if you do not answer this question properly, they might take it that you are not totally interested in studying in Japan. What are you planning to do after your studies? Just mention again, what are your plans after the studies? Are you planning on coming back to your country to work, or are you staying back in Japan? The important thing is, what are the two countries getting in return? Why do you deserve this scholarship? It's your time to sell yourself. It's time to mention your previous academic accomplishments. If there is any accomplishments in your life academically or in your workplace, it's time to mention it. Try to sell yourself, not in a boastful way, but in a way that you tell them that you are the right candidate. Finally, what are you going to do if you do not get this scholarship? They are not trying to discourage you. I think they are just trying to assess how dedicated you are towards your goals. If you do not get this Mext scholarship, what are you going to do? Are you still going to hunt around for opportunities to get, educated in the field that you are applying for? Personally, when I answer this question, I mentioned that if I do not get the Mext scholarship, I am going to try out other opportunities that are available out there to make sure that my dream of being a good health professional comes true. Those are some of the tips that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please check out this other one. I will see you in my next one.